This is a magazine that came out a couple of weeks ago and said the truth about Jen and Barack.
Okay, strap yourselves in, folks, because we are diving deep today. You sent us quite the collection of articles, and it looks like you're hungry for the inside scoop on how tech, politics, and even a little Hollywood all intertwine.
Yeah, it's amazing how these different worlds are colliding. It's creating these really interesting stories. It's like a real-life drama, but with really high stakes.
We're talking feuds in the AI world, presidential endorsements, and even a little whisper about a certain former president getting close with a Hollywood starlet. You ready to uncover some secrets?
Let's jump right in and talk about this AI battle that everyone's talking about, Elon Musk versus Sam Altman. This isn't just some geeky tech fight. This is about power, influence, and maybe even some personal grudges.
Okay, give me the details. What's the history between these two? They were friends once, right?
Yeah, they actually co-founded OpenAI together back in 2015. But things went sour just a few years later. Musk wanted more say in where the company was going, and he really wasn't on board with their move to become a for-profit company. He felt like they were moving away from their original goal of making AI that helps humanity.
It's like a battle for the soul of AI. Sounds intense.
It is, and it's playing out on a global stage with this massive $500 billion AI project called Stargate, right at the center of it all. Imagine this huge network of data centers and energy sources, all designed to power the next generation of artificial intelligence. OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank are the major players, and they've got a pretty powerful ally on their side, President Trump.
Wait, President Trump is in the mix of this AI showdown. Now, this is getting interesting.
Absolutely. Trump has publicly endorsed Stargate, even calling Sam Altman by far the leading expert in AI. It's a major win for Altman and a big hit to Musk, who's been very vocal against the project. He's even gone so far as to call Altman a swindler and a liar on X, his social media platform.
Wow, Musk isn't holding back. Sounds like this rivalry is getting pretty personal. I mean, swindler on social media, that's harsh.
It definitely suggests there's something deeper going on between them than just disagreements about AI. It feels like there's real animosity there, probably from their falling out OpenAI.
And President Trump is stuck in the middle of this tech world fight. What a mess. So how is he handling this whole thing? Is he trying to make peace, or is he picking a side?
It's a tough spot for him. He's clearly backing the Stargate project and Altman, but he also has a history with Musk. During the Stargate announcement, Trump actually mentioned Musk's disapproval of Altman, saying Elon doesn't like one of those people involved. Seems like he's trying to stay neutral, at least publicly.
Walking a tightrope between two powerful friends. One wrong step, and he could upset one of them.
Exactly. And it makes you think, how much do personal relationships and rivalries actually influence these decisions that have global impacts? We often think of politics and technology as separate things, but they're really closely connected.
It's all connected. And speaking of connections, let's switch gears to something a little less Silicon Valley and a little more Hollywood.
Yeah.
You sent over some articles about Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston. Okay, spill the beans. What's the real story here? Is there something romantic going on?
Well, the tabloids are having a field day with this one. They're all buzzing about a possible connection between the former president and the actress. But before you get too excited, it looks like it's mostly just gossip. Jennifer Aniston addressed these rumors directly when she was on Jimmy Kimmel Live. She said she only met Obama once and actually knows Michelle Obama better.
Okay, so no secret dates or romantic getaways. Bummer. I was hoping for a scandal.
I know, scandals are always more fun.
Yeah.
But even though the rumors aren't true, they still show us something interesting about how stories are shaped in the world of social media.
What do you mean?
Just think about it. A simple meeting between two famous people turns into a huge scandal, all because of gossip websites and excited fans. It shows how easily information can be twisted and how fast rumors can spread, especially when it involves celebrities and powerful people.
It's like a game of telephone gone wrong. And even though Aniston denied the rumors, the story is still out there, and people probably still wonder if there's more to it.
You're right. It's a reminder to be careful about the information we see, especially when it comes to celebrity gossip. Don't believe everything you read.
All right, so that gossip is busted. But before we move on, are we sure there are no juicy details about this Obama-Aniston meeting that we're missing?
I've looked through all the sources, and even the most gossip-hungry publications haven't found any real evidence. It seems like Aniston told the truth, plain and simple.
Okay. I'll let it go for now. But if anything new comes up, you know I want to hear it. Now, back to President Trump. One of the articles you sent mentioned his decision to release Classified assassination records about JFK, RFK, and MLK Jr. feels like something out of a movie. Why would he do this, and what could these records tell us?
The timing is interesting for sure. He made this decision as he's starting his second term, and people are talking. Some people think it's a way to distract from other things he's doing, or maybe to appeal to people who love conspiracy theories.
So a calculated political move, or a real attempt to shed light on some of America's darkest moments?
It's hard to say for sure. But no matter what his reasons are, releasing these records is a big deal.
And what about the actual content of these records? Could they rewrite history, or are we just going to see a bunch of boring paperwork?
Well, we've already seen millions of documents about JFK's assassination released over the years, and while they've given us some interesting details, they haven't really changed the official story.
So no big surprises.
That's what a lot of experts think. But there are still thousands of documents that are classified, especially those from the CIA. There's always a chance that something big is hidden in those files.
Like a real-life treasure hunt, going through all these old documents, looking for that one clue that changes everything.
And the fact that these records are coming out now with all the political stuff happening and the way technology is changing just makes it more intriguing.
Right.
Makes you wonder how these events from the past connect to what we're dealing with today.
It's a reminder that the past isn't really gone. It still affects us today, and understanding it can help us figure out what to do next.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got AI billionaires fighting, presidential endorsements causing drama in tech, and maybe some historical secrets waiting to be revealed. This is already a lot to take in.
And we're just getting started. There's a lot more to unpack.
Lead the way. I'm ready for more drama, intrigue, and maybe even a few surprises.
Okay, so let's get back to those assassination records. They're like a window into a whole other time.
I'm ready to put on my detective hat and dig into those secrets.
Well, that AP News article really lays it all out. President Trump signed this executive order to release all these classified documents about the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and MLK Jr.
But why now? What's his angle?
It's tough to say for sure, but some people think he's trying to create a distraction, shift the public's focus away from other stuff that's going on. Or maybe he's trying to appeal to those who love a good conspiracy theory.
Yeah, these historical mysteries, they really grab people's attention.
They really do. And the fact that some of these records have been hidden for so long just adds to the intrigue. Makes you wonder what they could be hiding.
Do you think there could be some big revelation in there that totally changes what we think we know about these events?
It's possible, but probably not likely. I mean, millions of documents about JFK's assassination have already come out. Or they've given us some interesting bits and pieces. They haven't really changed the official story that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone.
So no smoking gun.
Not yet, at least. But there are still thousands of documents that are classified, especially those from the CIA. Some researchers think these files could shed some light on what Oswald was doing in the months before the assassination, like his trips to Mexico City and his alleged contact with Soviet and Cuban officials.
Ooh, that's a good lead. What about the records on RFK and MLK Jr.?
Well, the AP article says that the executive order covers their assassination records too, but there's not as much information out there about what those files might have in them.
I'm really curious about the MLK Jr. records. The FBI's surveillance of him was a dark time in our history.
It really was. And people have always suspected that the FBI might have played a bigger part in his assassination than they've admitted. These new records could show us more about just how extensive the FBI's surveillance was and whether they ignored any real threats to Dr. King's life.
That's a scary thought. These assassinations, they had such a huge impact on America. Getting to the truth is so important.
Absolutely. It's about holding people accountable, being transparent, and making sure history is recorded accurately.
So when are we going to see these records? Will they release them all at once?
According to the AP article, President Trump wants the Director of National Intelligence and the Attorney General to come up with a plan for releasing them. The JFK records are supposed to be out within 60 days, and the RFK and MLK Jr. records have a 90-day time frame.
So it's not too far off. I can't wait to see what's in those files. It's like we're watching history unfold right in front of us.
It really is. And it reminds us that the past isn't really over. It still shapes who we are today and who we'll become.
That's a good point. Wow. I feel like my head is spinning with all this information. We've talked about drama in the AI world, celebrity gossip, and now historical mysteries. Is there anything else in these articles that we haven't covered yet?
Oh, yeah. Actually, there is one more thing. Remember how we were talking about Elon Musk criticizing the Stargate project and how that might have caused some tension with President Trump?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Did something new happen with that?
The Forbes article mentions that Sam Altman, OpenAI's CEO, He actually responded to Musk's criticisms. He defended how Stargate is being funded and even invited Musk to come visit the first construction site in Texas.
Oh, wow. What was his tone like? Was he being confrontational?
Not really. He seemed to be trying to be more diplomatic, stressing the importance of putting the country's interests first. He even acknowledged Musk's entrepreneurial drive, saying, "What's good for the country isn't always best for your companies, but in your new role, I hope you'll put America first."
That's a pretty smooth way to handle it. He's recognizing that there could be a conflict of interest, but he's also appealing to Musk's patriotism.
Exactly. It's subtle but effective.
So did Musk say anything back? Did he take him up on the offer?
The articles don't say. But wouldn't it be interesting if he actually went to see the Stargate site and maybe even made up with Altman?
No.
Or would he keep criticizing the project?
I feel like that would be a must-watch event.
Yeah.
I would love to be a fly on the wall if those two ever meet again.
I think it would be a pretty intense encounter, to say the least.
Speaking of intense, this whole AI thing has really shown us just how competitive the tech world is. It's not just about creating new things anymore. It's about power influence and maybe even global domination.
Yeah, that's one of the big takeaways from these articles. Technology is changing so fast, and the world is changing with it.
It's a little scary, to be honest,
Yeah,
but also really fascinating. Makes you realize that we're living in a time unlike any other.
we are. And understanding these complicated stories, how they all connect, is so important for figuring out how to navigate this new world.
You're right. Okay, I think we've covered everything important for these articles. Anything else you want to add before we wrap up this deep dive?
Just that all these stories, even though they seem so different, they're connected by one thing. They all show us how humans are shaping the world, whether it's through technology, political decisions, or even celebrity gossip.
That's a great point. It reminds us that even in a world that's becoming more and more dominated by technology, human nature is still a powerful force.
Exactly. And we should never forget that as we keep exploring the stories that shape our reality.
Well said. I feel like I've learned so much from this deep dive. It's been an amazing journey.
It has. And it's given me a lot to think about.
Me too. Thanks for taking me through all these fascinating stories. I feel much more informed, even if I'm a little overwhelmed.
It was my pleasure. And remember, this is just the start. There are so many other stories out there waiting to be discovered. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.
I will. Until next time. All right, let's get back into those assassination records. It feels like opening a time capsule full of secrets.
It does, doesn't it? We were talking about President Trump deciding to declassify them, all those files on JFK, RFK, and MLK Jr. It's caused quite a stir, hasn't it?
And you mentioned that some experts think those files might have new info on what Lee Harvey Oswald was up to before JFK was assassinated.
The AP News article talked about how some researchers are really hoping to find more about those trips Oswald took to Mexico City, where he supposedly met with officials from the Soviet Union and Cuba.
It's like straight out of a spy movie.
It does have that Cold War intrigue, doesn't it? The tension between the U.S., the Soviet Union, and Cuba was so high back then. If it turns out Oswald was talking to foreign agents, it could completely change what we think we know about JFK's assassination.
It might even challenge the whole idea that Oswald acted alone.
Exactly. While there's no guarantee we'll find anything groundbreaking in those files, the possibility is definitely there.
It makes you wonder why those files were kept secret for so long.
Well, there are a few reasons, I guess. One is that they might have information that could still be a risk to national security even after all these years. Another possibility is that they show some not-so-great things that government agencies did, like how the FBI was keeping tabs on MLK Jr.
I get why those reasons would keep things classified. But wouldn't it be better for everyone to know the truth, even if it's not pretty?
It's a good point. Transparency is super important for people to trust the government and to hold them accountable. But then again, there's also the need to balance that with protecting national security and people's privacy.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation. But I'm so glad they're releasing these records. It's a step toward understanding these events from our past.
Definitely. And even if they don't completely change what we think about the assassinations themselves, they could give us a better understanding of what was going on politically and socially at that time.
It's like looking through a window into a crucial moment in American history, and I'm really curious to see what we find.
Speaking of finding things, let's go back to that story about Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, yeah. Any new gossip on that one? I love a little celebrity drama.
Sorry to disappoint you, but not really. Seems like those rumors have died down. Jennifer Aniston was pretty convincing when she denied it, and there's been nothing to prove otherwise.
Oh, man. I was hoping for some juicy details.
Sometimes the truth is less exciting than all the speculation, I guess. And in this case, it looks like there's nothing romantic going on between Obama and Aniston.
Okay, I believe you. But it makes you think, how did these rumors even start?
I think it shows how obsessed we are with celebrities and how quick we are to believe the most dramatic gossip.
True. And with the internet and social media, it's so easy for rumors to spread like wildfire.
Exactly. It doesn't even matter if they're true.
It reminds us to be careful about what we believe, especially online. Always consider the source before you believe everything you read or hear.
Absolutely. Thinking critically is so important these days, especially with all the information coming at us from everywhere.
Before we finish up, I wanted to go back to that rivalry between Elon Musk and Sam Altman in the world of AI.
Yes. The battle of the tech giants. It's a really interesting story that shows just how fierce the competition is in the AI industry and how much is at stake.
What I found really striking was how their personal feud became political, with President Trump stuck in the middle.
It's a perfect example of how technology and politics are getting more and more connected. It makes you wonder how much influence tech leaders have on what the government does.
Exactly. It makes you think, could personal grudges and business interests actually shape the development of powerful technology like AI?
It's a legitimate concern. We need to pay attention and make sure that people with money and power aren't pushing technology in a direction that benefits them, even if it's not good for everyone else.
It's a little scary to think about.
It is, but it shows how important it is for everyone to be informed and to talk about these issues. We need to ask tough questions and make sure the people in charge are doing the right thing.
Absolutely. And that's what makes these deep dives so important. They help us learn about these complicated topics, question what we think we know, and form our own opinions. So what does all of this mean? We've seen how personal rivalries like the one between Elon Musk and Sam Altman can have huge consequences, influencing decisions worth billions of dollars that shape the future of AI.
It reminds us that sometimes the desire for power and influence can get in the way of progress and innovation.
We've also seen how easily rumors can take off, turning a simple meeting into a full-blown scandal, like the gossip about Jennifer Aniston and Barack Obama. It makes you wonder what other stories are being spun behind the scenes and how much personal agendas affect the news we consume.
It's a good reason to be careful about what we believe, to question why we're being told certain stories and to look for different perspectives.
One thing is certain, the world is much more complicated and interconnected than it seems on the surface. So keep digging, keep asking questions, and keep forming your own opinions. That's what makes taking a deep dive so worthwhile.